So hi and welcome to day 56 of Through the Bible in 1 Year. In today's Bible study video, we're going to be going through the book of Numbers chapter 33 and Numbers chapter 34. So let's just jump straight into today's Bible study text. Just to give you some context, we're actually going to go through not the hugest chapter so far, but it's quite a bit of text, and really just to give you some sort of backdrop so you're not sort of overwhelmed about what we're actually going to cover first and foremost today. Is what we're going to get in this chapter, this piece of text today, is literally just a walkthrough of what happened from the moment the Israelites, the nation, left Egypt. So let's jump straight into today's Bible study video and get straight into it. Numbers 33 and verse 1 reads, "These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron." So the first verse in today's reading literally just outlines and says the scenes of what's actually going to happen, okay? It's the journeys of the children of Israel, okay, which went forth out of the land of Egypt. So that's literally going all the way back to Exodus. So what you might want to do, and really, based on that standpoint, what you're really going to be doing is just going back to Exodus, okay, about chapter 12, chapter 13, and going right, basically, okay, continuing through the scriptures. Now, depending on what kind of Bible you have, if you just got a sort of just the simplified version of a Bible with no study notes or anything like that, then literally, like what I've just basically kind of led you to, is just literally go back to Exodus 12, 13, and literally you can actually go along as we read through these things that unfold. If you've got some sort of study or reference Bible, then typically in the margin it will probably tell you, okay, this is talking about this chapter, or this is talking about that chapter, etc. Okay, so either way you should have some context of what we're actually going to go through is actually starting at. So we're literally going to cover Exodus and Leviticus and Numbers, okay? So like I said, this is literally a summary, so to speak. So let's just continue going and jump through it. Okay, verse 2, "And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Lord, and these their journeys according to their goings out." So it's actually interesting from that standpoint that the scripture is highlighting that Moses wrote. Okay, so it's like the scripture is talking about the scripture from that standpoint, that what Moses is talking about here, we're actually reading. Okay, we've read through, and kind of like what I've been alluding to so far in today's video study, is that Moses wrote these things down because the Lord told him to. Okay. 3, "And they departed from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow after the Passover. The children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians." So literally talking about they had the Passover and then they left the next day, basically. Okay. 4, "For the Egyptians buried all firstborn which the Lord has smitten among them. Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgment." So we kind of had that detailed and outlined for us as well when we was there. So not only was the Lord plaguing the people, was also plaguing the gods that they worshipped, okay, as judgment, as a sign of judgment. Verse 5, "And the children of Israel removed from Ramesses and pitched in Succoth. And they departed from Succoth and pitched in Etham, which in the edge of the wilderness. And they removed from Etham and turned again into Pihahiroth, which before Baal-zephon. And they pitched before Migdol. And they departed from before Pihahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham and pitched in Marah." Okay, so just highlighting now the whole Red Sea, passing through the sea. Okay, "And they removed from Marah, okay, and came into Elim, and in Elim 12 fountains of water, and 70 palm trees." Okay, this is moving on now, a couple more chapters right of Exodus 12:13. Okay, "And they pitched there, and they removed from Elim and encamped by the Red Sea. And they removed from the Red Sea and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. And they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin and encamped in Dophkah. And they departed from Dophkah and encamped in Alush. And they removed from Alush and encamped at Rephidim, where was no water for the people to drink. And they departed from Rephidim and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai." So what the scripture is doing is, obviously, if you're studying through the scriptures, you would have probably covered these things, okay, if you're just going left to right, okay. But at the same time, what the scripture does time and time again is the scripture likes to highlight certain things, okay, that can kind of jog your memory, so to speak. So I'll give you an example where it talked about Verse 9. And they removed from Marah, and came unto Elim, and in Elim 12 fountains of water, and 70 palm trees. Okay. Something like that, for example, is highlighting that something that would stand out. Okay. The 12 fountains of water and the palm trees, 70 palm trees, etc. Okay. These are the kind of things that will jog the memory and be like, okay, oh, I remember that. And kind of give you context. And especially think about it from this standpoint as well. Okay, we obviously have chapters and verses, so it's to a certain degree, and obviously I've even in today's video referenced study Bible, so from that standpoint it's so much easier today to get to these kind of places. But back then, if they just had a book, basically, these are kind of things that would spur recognition to remember where they were actually reading. Okay, so where I can say, based on the chapters we have, go back to Exodus 12, 13 or 14, they wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Let's keep going. Okay, and another one is 14. And they removed from Elush and encamped at Rephidim, where was no water for the people to drink. Okay, we covered a couple of examples where the people didn't have any water to drink, and obviously ran into problems with God. Let's keep going. 15. And they departed from Rephidim and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai, and they removed from the desert of Sinai and pitched at Kibroth Hatta'ava, and they departed from Kibroth Hatta'ava and encamped at Hazeroth. Okay. And they departed from Hazeroth and pitched in Rithmah. And they departed from Rithmah and pitched at Rimmon Perez. And they departed from Rimmon Perez and pitched in Libnah. And they removed from Libnah and pitched at Rissa. And they journeyed from Rissa and pitched in Kehalafa. And they went from Kehalafa and pitched in Mount Shapher. And they removed from Mount Shapher and encamped in Harada. And they removed from Harada and pitched in Makheloth. They removed from Makheloth and encamped at Tahath. So literally what the scriptures is doing is saying, okay, this is their journeys. They went from here to here, then here to here, then here to here, then here to here. Okay, just literally talking step by step about all the different places they went to. 26. And they moved from Makheloth and encamped at Tahath. And they departed from Tahath and pitched at Terah. And they removed from Terah and pitched in Mithkah. And they went from Mithkah and pitched in Hashmona. And they departed from Hashmona and encamped at Moseroth. Okay, and they departed from Moseroth and pitched in Bene Jayakan. And they removed from Bene Jayakan and encamped at Horhagidgad. And they went from Horhagidgad and pitched in Jotbathah. And they removed from Jotbathah and encamped at Ebrona. And they departed from Ebrona and encamped at Ezion-Geber. Okay. And they removed from Ezion-Geber and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which Kadesh. And they removed from Kadesh and pitched in Mount Hor, in the edge of the land of Edom. And now we're going to get another highlight. Okay, this is something we covered in the book of Numbers. Okay, 38. And Aaron the priest went up into Mount Hor. Remember that was some chapters back, a few videos back, at the commandment of the Lord. That's when the Lord said, literally, Moses come up to the top of Mount Hor with Aaron and Eleazar his son. Okay. So that obviously Aaron can be gathered unto his people. The Lord mentioned that way. Okay, and died there in the 40th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the first of the 5th month. Okay, so we're getting lots of context here. He died in the 40th year. Okay, on the first day of the 5th month of the year. Okay, 39. And Aaron 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. And King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south. Even before we keep going on to verse 40, it's really interesting what that scripture is highlighting. Okay, because we'll go on to read about Moses. Okay, we obviously know that Moses was 3 years younger than Aaron. Aaron's his older brother, basically. And we're going to go on to read about how Moses dies at 120 years old. Obviously, the Lord said 40 years to wipe everyone out, and then the new generations will actually go in, okay? Based on what they actually said 40 years ago about the children would actually be a prey, X, Y, Z, basically. So the Lord flipped it on them and said, okay, the children you said will be a prey are the ones that are going to go into the land, but all of you are going to die in this wilderness. So you think about it from that standpoint, we're going to read about Moses being 120 years old, okay? And it's interesting because the scriptures are going to say his eyes were not dim or his strength was not abated. So he's saying, the scriptures basically saying he was still strong. Basically, what the scriptures alluding to is that Moses wasn't ready to die physically, okay? And it's important that we understand that, because it was based on judgment that he was actually killed, basically, because himself and Aaron walked in unbelief, okay? So he could have went on to live much longer, okay, just for the record, and Aaron too. Okay, so let's keep going. Verse 40. And King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. And they departed from Mount Hor and pitched in Zalmanah. And they departed from Zalmanah and pitched in Punon. And they departed from Punon and pitched in Oboth. And they departed from Oboth and pitched in Ig Abiram, in the border of Moab. And they departed from Ayim and pitched in Dibon Gad. And they removed from Dibon Gad and encamped in Almon Diblathaim. And they removed from Almon Diblathaim and pitched in the mountains of Abiram before Nebo. And they departed from the mountains of Abiram and pitched in the plains of Moab by Jordan, Jericho. And they pitched by Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth unto Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan, Jericho, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan, okay, so the Lord's basically foreshadowing here, okay. 52. Then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and pluck down all their all their high places. So the Lord's basically saying, look, when you come into the land of your possession, wipe out all of these artifacts, all of these things for worshipping false gods. Why? Okay, let's see. And he's obviously saying to drive them all out. Why? Okay, let's find out. 53. And ye shall dispossess the land and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. So number one, because he's giving it to them to possess. Okay. 54. And ye shall divide the land by lot for an inheritance among your families. To the more ye shall give the more inheritance. Okay, we read about this a few chapters back. And to the fewer ye shall give the less inheritance. Every man shall be in the place where his lot falleth. According to the tribes of your fathers ye shall inherit it. Okay, watch this. This is the Lord telling us why now. He's telling them to drive them out and actually destroy all of these artifacts and just images and objects. 55. But if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land, okay, from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them, okay, so whether it's the artifacts or the people, okay, look, what's going to happen? That those which ye let remain of them pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein ye dwell. Okay, so even wrap up the chapter in 56. Moreover, it shall come to pass, I shall do unto you as I thought to do unto them. So those basically saying, if you don't drive out these people, if you don't drive out all of their false worship and all these different kind of things, they're literally going to be pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, basically. And what the Lord's basically saying is these are going to be things that affect you, that affect your lifestyle. And ultimately what's going to happen is I'm actually going to now have to cast judgment on you, which I wanted to cast on them, basically. So you think about it from that standpoint, think about it in your life again. We can all agree there's typically probably things in our life that we could do without, basically, for one reason or another, okay? They don't always necessarily need to be things that get you to commit sin, okay? But it might just be something that isn't healthy, isn't the most healthy thing for you, or something that makes you tired. So for example, staying up extremely late into the night, okay? that necessarily might not be a sin or anything like that, but it might be something that causes you to wake up late, causes you to have less energy through the day, causes you to be more grumpy, etc. Okay, these are the kind of things basically. Okay, so for example, an extreme example that the Lord is talking about here, I believe, which is extreme, is something from the standpoint of worshipping false gods. If you worship the false gods, that would obviously be an effect on their walk with God, basically. So let's jump into the next chapter, basically, and wrap up today's Bible study video. So we jump into Numbers 34 now, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel and say unto them, when you come into the land of Canaan. So the Lord's continuing to foreshadow, basically, of what he's obviously continued in the previous chapter, so to speak. Okay, this the land that shall fall unto you for an inheritance, the land of Canaan with the coast thereof. So now the Lord's basically outlining territory. Okay. And what you find if you keep up with current events in the Middle East and Israel and that kind of stuff, you notice that this is really still a point of contention until today. Okay, so it's really important that we focus on these kind of things. Okay, then your south quarter shall be from the wilderness of Zin along by the coast of Edom, and your south border shall be the outmost coast of the Salt Sea eastward, and your border shall turn from the south to the ascent of Akrabim, and pass on to Zin, and the going forth thereof shall be from the south to Kadesh Barnea, and shall go on to Hazar Adar, and pass on to Asmon. Okay, verse 5, and the border shall fetch a compass from Asmon unto the river of Egypt, and the goings out of it shall be at the sea, and the western border he shall even have the great sea for a border. This shall be your west border, and this shall be your north border. From the great sea he shall point out for you Mount Hor. From Mount Hor he shall point out unto the entrance of Hamath, and the going forth of the border shall be to Zedad, and the border shall go on to Ziphron, and the goings out of it shall be at Hazar Enan. This shall be your north border, and ye shall point out your east border from Hazar Enan to Shepham. And the coast shall go down from Shepham to Riblah on the east side of Ain, and the border shall descend and shall reach unto the side of the sea of Chinnereth eastward. Okay, so the Lord's notice as well, highlighting all of these different borders, north, south, east, west, etc., and highlighting the places and the seas and the rivers, etc., and the mountains that should be for signs, for territory of the land. Okay, verse 12. And the border shall go down to Jordan, and the goings out of it shall be at the Salt Sea. This shall be your land with the coast thereof round about. And Moses commanded the children of Israel, saying, This the land which ye shall inherit by lot, which the Lord commanded to give unto the 9 tribes, and to the half tribe, and to the half tribe. Okay, so the 9 tribes that are left over, and then the half tribe of Manasseh. Okay, so you might be thinking 9 tribes, isn't it? 12 tribes, etc. Okay, let's read on. 14. For the tribe of the children of Reuben, according to the house of their fathers, and the tribe of the children of Gad, according to the house of their fathers, have received, and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. Okay, so you think about it from the standpoint of the 9 tribes on that side that are going in to possess. Then you've got Gad, and you've got Reuben, that's 10, 11. Then you've obviously got the other half of Manasseh, basically, which would obviously make 12. Okay. Let's keep going. The 2 tribes and a half tribe have received their inheritance on this side Jordan, Jericho eastward toward the sun rising. Okay. Obviously read about that a few chapters back in Numbers. Go back and watch the video. 16. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, These the names of the men which shall divide the land unto you, Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun. So the Lord basically saying the new leaders, the new high priest, which is Eleazar, which is basically, yes, he's still new, and obviously the new man in Moses' place, which will be Joshua, okay, the son of Nun. 18. And ye shall take 1 prince of every tribe to divide the land by inheritance, and the names of the men, these: of the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh, And of the tribe of the children of Simeon, Shemuel, the son of Ammihud. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad, the son of Chislam. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Dan, Buki, the son of Jogli. The prince of the children of Joseph, for the tribe of the children of Manasseh, Hananiel, the son of Ephod. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Ephraim, Kemuel, the son of Shiftan. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Zebulun, Elizaphan, the son of Parnak. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Issachar, Paltiel, the son of Azan. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Asher, Ahihud, the son of Shelomai. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, Pedael, the son of Ammihud. These whom the Lord commanded to divide the inheritance unto the children of Israel in the land of Canaan. So the Lord's highlighted a leader from every tribe basically and said, okay, these are the people, okay, along with obviously Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun, basically, which will be the people to divide the inheritance among their lot, basically. And I think this is really interesting. It's really interesting to wrap up the text, and obviously we're pretty much at the end of the book of Numbers. Okay, there's a couple of chapters left, but it's literally, if you think about it from the bird's eye view, basically the view from above, basically, it's literally setting the scene. Okay, all of this stuff is literally what you literally find happen is, let's say back to Exodus, for example. Okay, and remember I talked about in previous videos, there's a lot of things happening around similar time. Okay, so Exodus was sort of an enclosed time period where there are plagues and they're coming out of Egypt. Then it kind of stretched out a little bit, and it, I guess, covered 40 years. Now we've submerged again, basically, and made it really compacted. It's compressed now into a short period of time where Aaron's going to die, or died, Moses will die. The people are being charged up again, basically, and ready to inherit the land. From that standpoint, the timeline's compressed, and that's what you'll find throughout the scripture. Sometimes things will get honed in specifically, and then other times it will stretch out, basically, in that regard. So that's literally the end of today's Bible study video. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, and obviously comment below, and also share this with your friends and family so they can obviously grow in the same way you're growing, basically, in regards to your scripture, basically. So that's pretty much it for today's Bible study video. Okay, obviously, if you want to donate or sow a seed to the ministry in any way, there's a link below the video. You can obviously donate basically to the ministry anything you feel. There's no obligation, there's no pressure here. It's just if you feel in your heart that this ministry is obviously helping you, then obviously click the link below this video and just donate whatever you feel is best. Thanks and take care.